We said, look, let's expand the Qualcomm addressable market and let's create new vectors of growth. We're incredibly happy with what we accomplished in a short period of time.
Your smartphone packs in more computing power than most mainframe systems of the 1970s. And yet you probably don't give much thought to the technology that makes it possible to binge watch your favorite show, query an AI assistant, or perform virtually any application, all from the palm of your hand. Put simply, processors are what make smartphones smart. And under CEO Cristiano Amon, Qualcomm is making smartphones smarter and cellular connections faster, proving instrumental in connecting automobiles, industrial equipment, and other devices, all while leading the next era of disruption, Edge AI. As an analyst covering the semiconductor industry for Morgan Stanley, I was eager to speak with Cristiano about how he's led Qualcomm to become more profitable, innovative, and diverse. So I traveled to Qualcomm's headquarters in San Diego, where Cristiano talked about where computing power is going and why one of his biggest passions outside of work is decisively analog. Cristiano, thanks so much for doing this.
Very happy to have this conversation with you.
You grew up in Brazil. I know you had an engineering family background, but what kind of led you to Qualcomm in the early days?
I remember my dad said to me, you can do anything you want as long as engineering school, law school, medical school. So then I like math, I like science, I like physics. So I went to engineering school. That was the time that we started to see a lot of analog phones and digital. And we heard about this company called Qualcomm, a small company in San Diego doing something amazing. That was Revolutionize digital communications.
I mean, did you know in 1995, did you have in your head, I'm going to be CEO of this company?
Zero idea. When I joined Qualcomm in 1995, the last thing I was thinking, one day I'm going to be CEO of this company. Look, I love this company. My career has evolved as the company had evolved. I don't think I had a very specific plan. Here's what I wanted to do.
Can you talk about those early stages of leadership?
We took a step back and we said, we love wireless. We love mobile. We're always going to be in mobile. We're always going to be the company setting the pace of innovation in mobile. But the real three assets that we have, which is everything wireless communication, high performance, low power compute, that's our secret sauce, efficient compute, and the ability to do artificial intelligence. Those three pillars, they can be transformative to other industries, where automotive is going, where personal computer is going, where industry is going. And I think that's what we did. It was really trying to put together a strategy for a company that is capable of learning new things, developing new capabilities, and expand really the addressable market of Qualcomm. We want to change from a wireless communication company to a connecting computing company, and I think we're on our way to achieve that.
Why has that been so good for you guys?
We look at mobile, we realize it's the largest consumer electronic industry in the world, but it's an industry that is fully penetrated. Everybody has a cell phone. Some people have two. And he grows, but he grows with economic activity, grows with population, grows with GDP until the next big change, right? So we look at that market and we said, what are the trends? We see the consumers, when they buy their next phone, they want a better phone. The phone screen is very small. So when you think about productivity today, I can guarantee there's certain things you say, I'm going to wait until I get my laptop to go do this work. I cannot think of a better use case for Microsoft Copilot than the phone screen. Those type of assistants are going to increase productivity by a lot. So we're going to see a cycle change, which is going to be with GenAI. GenAI is going to develop on the phone completely different than the cloud. It's going to be about the front end of every application. It's going to have an agent, or it's going to have a different way to interact, even if you're writing or typing. And we're going to see a cycle when people are going to need more content, more computing power. And I think that has been the history of our 5G business. Looking into the future, we're convinced that there's going to be a new phone cycle because of GenAI.
I wanted to go back to the diversification strategy, the things that you pursued a few years ago versus what you're doing now.
Let me start by talking about the acquisitions. We knew the cars are going to become digital. We knew that the car will become a computing space. And we needed to get ability to scale our assets, our connectivity, our computing to do that. But we needed to build software and we needed to get an autonomous stack. So we make a very target acquisition. We acquire what we needed, scale the rest of the company, leading toward the vision what we think the automotive computing platform is going to be. We realized that the car will become a computing space. It's not a phone, it's not a laptop, it's a car. And how you think about what's happening with the car, especially the car gets smarter as you get assisted driving, people are going to get entertained from the car. They're going to be able to get productive on the car, and they're going to communicate from the car. They're going to do many different things. And we said, can we build a platform that actually enables the car companies to realize in this vision? And I think we're incredibly happy what we accomplished in a short period of time. We're working with every automotive company in the world. I think the Snapdragon Digital Chassis became an asset for the automotive industry, and we were able to see where the automotive industry is going, and we did that.
What do you think is going to surprise people most? If you think out 10 years, where do you think there's the biggest kind of expectations?
I think phones, we're going to see a big change in the industry. Our mindset is thinking about an app today. We go to an app, somebody design an app in a way that everybody uses the screen, and you touch on the menu, you do different things. But tomorrow, you're going to interact with a model. You're just going to ask the model something, and the model is going to take the task. Today, you give your banking credentials to the banking app, go to the bank cloud, and give your information. I can just ask the model, what's my checking account balance? Or I can take a photo and say, please pay this bill for me, and text me when it's done. So the experience is going to be different. And I think we're going to see mobile evolving with that. We are incredibly excited about GenAI evolving on the devices. And the way you should think about it, here's my final comment on this. Yes, there is big models that know all, do all. You ask a query, you do search with that in the cloud. The device is a little different. The device is at the edge, whether it's your phone, your PC, your car. There's a screen. In front of the screen, there's a human. GenAI enabled that computing engine to understand your language. Now let's talk about PCs. One of the features I find most exciting is recall. You just go work on your computer, and you're going to tell your computer, about 3 weeks ago, I'm not sure, maybe 3 weeks, maybe a month, I saw a video, and in this video, I saw this part of information, and it will say, this is the video you saw on YouTube, but this is where the part that you just talked about it. What about this document they had this particular data point? It will bring it to you. Anything you do in the computer will bring it to you. So, and those things, this AI engine in the device is your data, is indexing anything you do in the computer. I'll give an example of some of the applications we're working already with the car companies. You have an issue with the car. You have a light come up, an alarm come up or something. The car will say, Joe, this is what the issue is. You can continue to drive. I recommend you to drive at this speed. You're going to have to replace this part. You're going to have to take it to the dealership. I look at the dealership calendar. The 3 appointments here that could work for you. Just say yes. And with that, the experience is going to change. Those are some of the examples I gave it to you, but I think we're going to see more examples as we go on this journey. Okay, move on. Let's talk about industrial. You train a model on a particular data set of a refinery, as an example. And you have an operator with that model. He points that multimodal, he points that phone camera into an equipment, and he asks, what's this equipment? How do I open this valve? And the model will say, step 1, you do this. Step 2, you do this, etc. So you can actually train a model on a device that can help you do your daily task, or even get an operator that's not trained in a particular area can operate different types of equipment. You have cameras all over the place. You have a model working on that camera data. You go in, you ask a query. Is there any incident? Is there any leak? There are endless examples.
It's really exciting stuff. Maybe I finish off asking, we've been told that your hobby is restoring classic cars. And so how do you sort of juxtapose, you're sort of modernizing the automotive industry on the one hand, restoring classic cars on the other?
The cars that I'm interested in, they're all analog. They have no digital whatsoever. It's the absolutely opposite of the future we're helping enable. I was born in the 70s. I think when I was a kid, I was starting to understand, I like this car, I need the car names. So I was always fascinated by the cars at 70. I loved the muscle cars from the 70s. So there are a couple of cars that I really like. This restoration business takes a long time. We can do multiple chips by the time one of those cars get ready. But that's my midlife crisis.
Yeah, good stuff. Cristiano, thank you so much for doing this. This was a great pleasure for me and really exciting. And good luck with everything.
Me too. Thank you for being here. Happy to have this conversation with you. Thank you, Joe.